Hello traders and welcome to another video review. Today is Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. Let's take a look at the economic calendar for today. Overnight data were mostly very nice. No, well, not that nice. Building approvals in Australia way down from minus 0.2 to minus 8.8%. Services PMI data from China down from 51.9 to 50.7. And the interest rate decision in Australia, there is no data, unfortunately, yet. And London session is kicking in. Unemployment rate in Switzerland down from 2.9 to 2.8. And as you can see, we are getting ready for the London session reveal of the Eurozone services and composite PMI. These data are coming from the Spain, Italy, France, Germany, obviously, and the whole Eurozone. The last one is scheduled for release at 10 o'clock. Then we got the data from the UK, composite and services PMI, scheduled for release at 10:30. And then we jump straight onto US session trade balance from Canada and the US. Export and imports from the US are scheduled for release at 2:30. At 4 o'clock we got the data releases from Canada again, IV PMI obviously. At 5 o'clock we got global daily trade price index from New Zealand. Short-term energy outlook is scheduled for release at 6 o'clock. And then we got the regular data releases, 7 o'clock 10-year note auction together with the Atlanta Fed GDP now from the US. API weekly crude oil stock data scheduled for release at 10:30. And at 11 o'clock we got ECB financial stability review data. So quite a busy day, especially with the PMI data releases from across the Eurozone. So please get ready for possible violate London and the US trading session. Now let's go to the charts. We start with euro dollar as usual. So the euro dollar is not doing much again. However, it's being rejected from the 100 periods moving average at 1.1370. So right now the situation is quite clear. We are waiting for the breakout as the wave 4 is getting more complex and time consuming. It looks like this market wants to move sideways for quite some time. The range is clearly defined: 1.1440 to the upside, 1.1265 to the downside. So this is the technical support. Well, the first sign of a possible movement to the upside will be after the breakout above the 100 periods moving average at 1.1370, and this scenario for the wave 5 to the upside is valid as long as the wave 4 possible wave for low and definitely technical support at 1.1209 is not clearly violated. Please notice that we are still waiting for the increase in the momentum as well. So the euro dollar is looking quite sideways ahead of the data releases. Because we got data releases from the UK, let's take a look at the British pound. The British pound got rejected from the 1.3330 level. So as you can see, we got bearish engulfing here, and we are back towards the 100 periods moving average. So there is still in short term the sideways moving trend, and now the range is, well, still clearly defined: 1.3330 to 1.3350 as the local short-term supply zone, and 1.3234 local demand zone. And there is a demand zone, wait a minute, just a second, because we need to define the other level, roughly around 1.3250. This is the zone: 1.3250, 1.3233. So that's the local short-term demand zone. That's the supply zone, waiting for a breakout as well. Maybe the data from the UK in form of the PMI will be the trigger for the bigger movement, and volatility will eventually increase. Crude oil, 4-hour time frame chart of the crude oil is showing us another movement lower. we went down, almost hitting the 52.12 technical support, but it doesn't actually mean the down movement is done yet. We got 55.39 local low. Now the market is trying to bounce from the extremely oversold market conditions. Now the RSI is 48 points, so it's just below the level of over 50. So definitely the bulls needs to break above the level of 59.85 in order to continue higher. The next technical resistance is located, the next meaningful technical resistance is located at 61.49, just where the 100 periods moving average is located. If we add one more thing to our chart, the trend line here is, it looks like the market is respecting this line. So let me just make it thicker, make it nice and bright, so you can see it straight on. The market is trading below the 100 periods moving average, below the trend line, below the major technical resistance levels. And just because the market conditions were extremely oversold, now the market is trying to pull back a little bit, but it looks like the bearish pressure is still visible, and we can see lower levels on the crude oil quite soon. Please notice for the data from the API crude oil stock will be released later on. If we talk about the crude oil, let's talk about the gold. There you go. It looks like the ABC corrective decline to the downside has been completed a little bit earlier than we wanted. The level was 3,201, and since then we got very nice movement to the upside. We are almost at the extremely overbought market conditions, testing the wave B high at 3,367. Any breakout higher would eventually means that the all-time high at 3,499 is eyed by the bulls, and it's next for a test. We're removing our Fibonacci retracement tool. So after the correction, the market is ready to move higher again, unless this correction is only the beginning of the more complex and time-consuming market correction. But so far it looks pretty bullish to me, pretty impulsive to me. So it looks like the market wants to move higher after the ABC correction is completed. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. For our time frame chart is showing us a very nice situation where the movement to the upside has retraced almost all of the recent the end of the March, the beginning of the April downswing. We got this important level here, 5,716, acting as the technical resistance, and we slowly but surely moving towards this level with very nice momentum here. It's not maybe something impressive, however you can see that this market is moving steadily up towards the level of over 70. So it looks like there is still buying interest here on the S&P 500. If we break above 5,700, the next target would be the level of 5,785, and the trend line. I guess we can add some trend line here. I think it should look like maybe like this, something like that. There you go. And as long as we trade again above the trend line, above the 100 periods moving average, the outlook remains bullish. We are waiting for the breakout higher, especially above 6,000 points. So this is how it looks like from the bigger perspective. Or let me just move it back. There you go. This is how it looks like from the bigger perspective. 6,200, 6,147, 6,147 was the high from the February 2025. So right now, after this movement on downside, we retrace very nicely to the upside. At least 50% is now retraced, so the outlook remains bullish. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ 100 is doing the similar thing. All of these markets are moving in the very similar pattern. This situation here is quite different, because from from the level of 22,224, we went down towards the level of 16,325, and now we got the movement to the upside. We trace at least 50% again, so now we are about to test the level of 20,339. Very nice technical resistance level. We are trading already above that trend line, I guess. Let me just check this out. Yes, we are trading above the trend line. You can see that this is a quite valid trend line. We are trading above the 100 periods moving average, so the outlook looks rather bullish, because momentum is again positive. It's quite similar to the S&P 500 momentum. So any breakout above this high, above 20,000 for good, would likely put the all-time high under pressure. So possible test of this level is being played right now, but we need a breakout. And last but not least, let's take a look at the Bitcoin. For our time frame chart is showing us very nicely that we are moving higher, and just recently the market was trying to test the 100 periods moving average after the extremely overbought conditions were hit. Local technical resistance and the local swing high is still 97,860. So that's the technical resistance, and the local series of the technical supports is being visible here, 91,621. And then there is at least one more, 92,728. So as long as we trade above 100 periods moving average, again above those technical supports, the outlook remains bullish, and we are waiting for the RSI to pick up from the level of 40 towards 50 and above, as this looks like a very nice situation for the bulls, and they I guess they are just waiting for the trigger to move higher. Maybe the correlation between the NASDAQ and S&P 500, generally the American stock market indices, might kick in again very, very closely, maybe 0.8, maybe 0.9. So please keep an eye on the indices, keep an eye on the Bitcoin. They might be following each other very, very closely in the coming days. Again, that's everything from me for today. Thank you very much for watching this analysis, and I hope I see you guys next time. Take care and bye bye.